pleasure of having Cody Askins join our team. Cody is someone I met in the very beginning of my journey in the insurance industry. And I was grateful because I wouldn't have made it through actually anything without him, because his company was the only company I actually purchased leads through. So just to give you guys a little background on what I know about Cody, he is a keynote speaker at a lot of awesome events. He's got over 70,000, I think now it's like 74,000 subscribers on YouTube, thousands and thousands of views. I've watched him grow from, I think, 0 to over 74,000 on YouTube, which is extremely impressive in just under like 2 or 3 years. So a really big deal, you guys. I don't know about you, but I definitely want to learn how to grow my YouTube presence. So I'm going to be reaching out about that. He's got 8 different companies, married to a powerhouse, Lauren Askins. Met her when I first started the industry as well, which we can talk a little bit about that experience. But you've definitely made a major dent in the industry, and I've watched you grow from, in my opinion, like a small lead vendor to just like keynote speaker, just complete all-around badass in the insurance industry. So we really, really appreciate you being on this call here today with us. We do not take this lightly. This is a very big deal for our team. And so if you want to go ahead and just kind of get started and share a little bit about your journey, what it is that you are doing in the industry, because it is a little different than what some of us are doing here on this call. So Cody, thank you so much for hopping on with us today. I really appreciate your time.
You got it. Thank you, Ashley. Thank you, Gage. Good to see you, man.
Great to see you.
Yeah. Appreciate the opportunity. I'll go like 10, 15, 20 minutes. That's cool. I love doing this. I'm excited to be on here. I will accept responsibility for not being on the Zoom on time. We should have found the link, efdials.com. I mean, how freaking easy is it to get on? I love that. It's so simple. Also, I'm not near as cool as Ashley makes me out to be, but I love this space. I've been in the industry. My dad's been in the industry 32 years. So I grew up in the industry. I've been in it since I was 19 as an intern, 20 as a full-time agent. I sold for years. Then I started putting up videos on YouTube. Not even sure why. I just thought, you know what, if I can, do this thing, maybe I can help somebody else do it. So I started putting up videos on YouTube. Hey, here's how I did it. Here's how you can do it too if you follow these steps. It's grown. Yeah, we've got over 75,000 now in the last 6 years, simply by putting out education, which is really the way I run business in general. I like to provide value first to people. And when you do, it tends to come back around in return, right? So I'm excited to be here. My goal for today, okay, I've got a little team training session. I'm going to share some things out of my book, 0 to 6 figures. But my goal for today, and for some of you, this is too small. Okay, so don't even set your sight on 6 figures, because some of you it's already too small, right? If your gauge is freaking way too small. Okay, but my goal for today is to get you to expand your vision a little bit, think outside the box, think a little bit bigger about your life, and really start to picture, man, where can this thing go? There's more millionaires in insurance than any other industry in the world. Who knew that? By show of hands, who knew already there are more millionaires in insurance and financial services? A lot of people don't realize that. Also, normally I've got 2 huge 8% letters behind me, but they're already packed up in a crate because we're shipping them to Dallas for the conference. That comes from the fact that 92% of insurance agents fail in their first 3 years. But I can tell you this, man, you plug in, you listen to these cats, and there's no question you can absolutely make it if you're coachable in your work. Before I get to 0 to 6 figures and give you 6 different steps I want to talk through today, I really want to talk through my daily routine and how important a daily routine is, how much it helps me with habits, right? And becoming disciplined. Because I really believe along the way, for you to grow, like we all want to grow, but for you to grow, you've got to become the best version of you. Well, that means that what happens is there's this lid of how much we think and what we accomplish and where we're at in life. And I really believe that we all run into this lid every now and then. And I don't know about you, but I want to continue to grow, which means I got to bump that lid a little bit to continue to raise that. Well, my daily routine does that, right? I'm up at 5:30. I'm working out every day. I'm listening to audiobooks. I'm writing down my goals. I'm committed to learning and improving every day. And it's interesting, if I'm committed a ton every single day, every morning, I'm going to be awake. Brian Tracy says that you need to be up 2 hours before any sales related activity. And so I'm up 2 hours early before any sales, at least maybe 3 or 4 hours now. But then I'm ready, I'm awake, and I'm going to have a phenomenal day. Okay, so let me jump into my content a little bit. 0 to 6 figures. Number one, I'm going to give you 6 different steps this morning, really quick. Number one is how you talk to yourself matters. This industry is supposedly hard, right? This industry is like you get hung up on 1 minute, somebody slams the door in your face, somebody doesn't show up for the Zoom. There's constant rejection, right? There's constant negativity around you, constant things happening in your life and in your world. I want to challenge you to remember how Tanika talks to herself is so important, man. It's interesting. I was told at 21 that I'd be a millionaire before I was 30, but I didn't believe it. Well, I can tell you this, no matter how big your life can get, if you do not believe it, it's not going to happen, right? I'm not saying just wake up and talk to the mirror and say, hey, I'm amazing, I'm good looking, and I'm going to freaking crush it. And I'm just never going to have to work again the rest of my life. I can retire now and I'm going to be a billionaire. Well, that's probably not going to work, because then we got to wake up and actually take some action to put it into existence. sense. But it's interesting though. I'm kind of curious. A lot of people wake up and we look at our bank account, we think about how much money we have, and we're like, dude, I'm broke. Even if you are broke, if that is how you start your day, I promise you, it's going to affect your confidence. It's going to affect your day-to-day life. It's going to affect you from pushing to become a better breed. It's going to affect Alexander from becoming a rock star or whatever he's drinking there. I think he's drinking a rock star or something. Okay. It's going to prevent him from being a rock star if he starts to tell himself that he's not a rock star. He's like, a freaking lounge act or whatever, right? Like if that's how you talk to yourself, it's going to affect how much you grow, how big you become, right? It's interesting because it's not always about money either, right? But it is. Because the more money you have, the more special things you can do. The more money Mark has, even if it's not about the money, it's kind of interesting. Most people in our industry, it's like it gets weird. It gets awkward when you start talking about money, right? But dude, we have to have it to live. We have to have it to survive. We have to have it to thrive. We have to have it to build villages or to help homeless people or to like give to your church or what you believe in or take care of your family or go on vacations, right? Or to give your kids the life that you never had, whatever it is. It takes money. However, I believed I could be a millionaire before I was 30. I started believing it. I started telling myself every single day. And then we get to where we're now, we'll probably do 30 million bucks this year across 9 different companies. Like I'm crazy busy. I'll get like 10 minutes and I'll maybe eat lunch real quick, right? But I love it because I'm pushing and I'm growing and I'm getting better. And so I want to challenge you. Number one, how you talk to yourself matters. I want to challenge you. It's so easy. So like we tend to talk the most negatively about ourselves. Right? It's so easy to do. So I want to challenge you to start to realize what you're saying to yourself and how important it is. You keep telling yourself, dude, I'm broke. I'm not really that good. Man, I'm not good at objections. Gosh, I'm not good on the phone. Gosh, I hate the phones. I hate making phone calls. Hate making phone calls. Hate making phone calls. Hate making phone calls. Guess what will happen? Dude, you'll stop making phone calls, right? Because you will literally like convince yourself that you suck on the phone and that you hate the phones. You just will. I was telling my team this morning, it's like most speakers and keynote speakers and public speakers and pastors, like they get up and talk and they get up and talk and they say, okay, I'm going to be the best I've ever been today. My message today is going to change somebody's life. And today is going to be a pivotal moment that changes your career forever. Well, what did they just do? They just told you what they wanted you to remember. They just told you what they wanted you to say after they got done. They're like, and then that speaker gets done, right? And Hector's like, man, they talked about this. It was the best I've ever seen them. And it's probably going to change my life. I mean, why? Because they told you that. They pre-framed all that stuff and they put it all in there before you even realized it, right? You can do the same thing for your own life. Number two, actually, before I get to number two, I want to walk through something that was already on the board earlier. I don't know if you caught it, but it's called a possibility index because it's interesting when we get into business. I mean, most people didn't grow up in career day saying, bro, I'm going to sell insurance. Like, I got to do it, man. It's sexy. It's incredible. Like, it's fun. No, dude, the average age of an insurance agent is 59. Average person's like an old white dude. The average conference is flipping boring as crap, man. They got an organ playing in the corner, or maybe there's no music, or you got like unpadded chairs, or you got no DJ, and keynote speakers are putting everybody to sleep. They're like, thank you for being here. This can be, we're going to recruit you and you're going to leave and we're going to help you make some money. And I'm like, bro, what am I at? It's terrible. Okay. But along the way, you're possibly like what you believe about this thing has to grow. So I'm going to walk through what's called a possibility index really, really quick, because I want you to think about what's possible in your life and how you can get there. Okay. So what's interesting is when we first started out in the business, it like not only does it feel impossible to achieve success, it's actually invisible. Like we want to be here. This is the middle of the target. We all want to live here, but we start out in having success in insurance was invisible to a lot of us because we didn't even give it a chance. We're like, bro, like career day, you walk by the booth, you're like, I ain't doing that with that dude. Are you kidding me? He's got freaking meatloaf on his polo. Like, come on, there's no way. Okay. But it's invisible, right? It's invisible. It was invisible to us. This success, this life, this insurance career, it was invisible, wasn't it? Yes, it was invisible. Then we moved from invisible to impossible. You're like, okay, it's not invisible. I heard about it. Somebody said it. Ashley, she's awesome. She's crushing it. But it's not invisible, but I don't know if I can do what she's doing. Maybe it's impossible for me to achieve her level of success. And we all think that, even though it's so far from true, but we think we live in this impossible. Like, I don't know if it's possible for me to do this. Then you move from impossible to possible. Then you start tasting a little bit of success. You start, the Gage starts serving up some of that cookies and cream ice cream that tastes so good along the way. And you're like, bro, I want some more of this. This is solid, man. I like cookies and cream ice cream. I want more. Fill it up, baby. Fill it. And you move from impossible to possible. And then your world starts opening up because you personally start to believe this thing is possible. I'm about to do something special. I'm about to make some money. I'm about to help some people. Generations after me are going to thank me for the work that I put in today. And then it starts to feel like you get a little swag. You start rolling your shoulders back. You're like, dude, I got this. It's possible for me to do this. Then you move from possible to probable, like fantasy football and NFL, right? You got inactive and out. You got doubtful. You got questionable. You got probable, and you got active. Dude, I want to be active, but before we get to active, a lot of times you go through probable. I don't probably want success. But then you move from possible to probable, and you're like, I can probably do this. I will probably make six figures. I will probably get good on the phones. I will probably not fail, right? Which is all like terrible talk anyway. But we live in this possible, probable, hopefully, maybe, wish and pray that maybe it'll happen. But then eventually we move from probable to actual. And then we live in this actual place of success where we are 100% certain that we are going to change our lives and everybody else's lives around us forever. And then it does start to make perfect along the way, right? Because you just keep pushing. It just keeps getting better. It just keeps coming along, man. Who's enjoying this already? And you're like, dude, I want to get to some actual success. I don't want to just hang out. Hector didn't want to just partly live there, dude. He wants to reside there. But you can, but that's where it's all possible. But the moment you tell yourself it ain't, it ain't. I mean, we had a little talk in my 8:30 team meeting this morning, and Steve does my team meeting for me for multiple companies for like 70 staff. And we have this huge corporate team meeting. And he said that there's this person out there that can literally lift 3 cars on a squat. I'm like, bro, that seems like that's impossible. But to that person, it ain't, right? To that person, it ain't. Okay, number 2, we got how do you talk to yourself matters. I threw in the possibility index. It's not a number. Number 2, accept responsibility. Accept responsibility. I wasn't on the Zoom on time, my fault. Let's just say you get on a plane and with 200 other people. I was on a plane with Allegiant Air a few weeks ago. There was 184 people on the plane. I asked because I was curious, and they're like, yeah, it's 184 when it's full. Right now there's 180. I'm like, okay. So 184 seats. Let's say I get on the plane with Allegiant Air. I get sick. I get off the plane. Do you blame Allegiant? Do you blame the passengers? Do you blame the jet? Or do you blame yourself for getting on the plane? Dude, I blame myself. My bank account's low. It's my fault. People are running away from me in my life. I'm losing salespeople. I'm losing employees. I'm losing staff. I'm losing COOs, whatever. My fault. I'm losing business partners. My fault. I'm not rising to the level of success that I need to be at. My fault. I'm terrible on the phones. My fault, which I'm not. I'm really good. My fault. Once you start blaming yourself for everything in life, you begin to have way more control over the life that you have. Now, yeah, let's just say somebody runs a stop sign and hits you in your Toyota Corolla or your Maserati, maybe. I don't know, whatever, right? And do you blame them or do you blame you? Well, technically they ran the red light, but technically you could have seen it coming, right? Now, I'd rather the insurance pay because it is their fault technically, but I'm using an extreme example because I need to start blaming me for me. All my success, all my failure, it's on my shoulders, man. It is. That's right. Come on, John. That's right, man. That's right. Good to see you, by the way. I know, John. Number three, show up. Step 1 of success is showing up when you don't feel like it. I remember being 16 years old. 16 years old, I'm supposed to go work at little Apple Market grocery. Some of you have probably heard this story. I've said it 14,000 times, but some of you may haven't, so I'll share it anyway. 16, supposed to go to a little Apple Market grocery store in Rogersville, Missouri, and I'm supposed to work at 4 o'clock on I love that some of you are sharing this on social and tagging me, by the way. I love that. Thank you. Okay. Because, dude, we live in this attention world, don't we? Right? We just do. And so I'm supposed to go to work at 4 o'clock. It's 3 o'clock. I'm throwing up. I don't feel like going to work today. I'm throwing up. Supposed to go to work at 3. I'm throwing up. This was back when I was 16. I go find my dad. I said, hey, I don't feel like going to work today. I ain't going. I'm sick. I'm vomiting. He said something that I still remember every single day. He said, you do whatever you want to do, but you know what I would do. I'm like, gosh, dang it. That's the example I had, right? I want to help a lot of kids along the way because not everybody had the parents I did. That's the example. That's the leader I was under, right? That's the example I had. And so I'm like, gosh, dang it. And I went to work. I'm like, I'll throw up in the bathroom. Who cares? Now, this COVID world we live in, that's probably frowned upon. However, you get the idea. You have to show up. Step 1 of success is showing up. That's it. I remember literally on a Saturday, I was supposed to drive 2.5 hours for a 9 a.m. appointment on a Saturday with another agent years ago. And I'm like, gosh, it's 2.5 hours away. It's 6 a.m. We're leaving the office on a Saturday. Like, Jared, I just want to sleep, bro. It's Saturday. I had a good week. And I'm like, okay, so we're leaving. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do the smart thing. I'm going to call ahead. Brilliant idea. Okay, so I pick up the phone. I'm like, all right, call Betty. I always say Betty. Everybody uses their different names, Mary, whatever. Mine's Betty. Okay. All right, so ring, 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 Betty. No answer. Well, she's probably, our brain starts playing tricks on us. It starts racing. She's probably not there. She's probably going to stand me up. She forgot. She's not going to buy. This is a terrible idea. We should never drive out there. What the freak are we doing? Right. And so I look at the agent. I'm like, dude, this is stupid, man. Like, what are we doing? He's like, we don't have any plans. Why don't we just go anyway? Hello? I'm like, all right, fine. We'll go. Guess when we get there 10, 15 minutes early. Guess who is not there when we pull in the driveway? Betty. Guess who's not there 10 or 15 minutes later? Betty. Guess who shows up 10, 15 minutes late? Betty. And I'm like, crap. So hey, she apologized. She forgot. We drove 2.5 hours. She's like, okay, come in real quick. I don't have a lot of time. Literally, we're there for 3.5 hours. And we leave with a $505 a month final expense policy. I wouldn't have that story today if the other agent hadn't said, hello, dude, let's just show up, man. There's so many times in life, we all go through it, right? There's so many times in life where we do not feel like showing up. We're like, I'm tired. I'm kind of hungry. You know, I don't feel great. I've got a tummy ache. You know what I mean? Come on, I got a tummy ache, bro, right? But there's so many times in life where we are weak, we are soft, and we do not show up. Michaela's right. We need to, though, and we can, and we will, but we got to. Number 4, do whatever it takes. I'm going to move quick. I don't have a lot of time. Number 4, do whatever it takes. Winners find a way to win. So my dad's always told me, my dad's always said that for years, man. Winners find a way to win. 8% has not always won along the way. I lost $250,000 my first year doing that whole craziness thing we call 8%, man. This year we got a couple thousand people. We got Tim Tebow, Ed Milet, Jesse Itzler, Ashley Gronberg. We got some powerhouses. Right? We got a special group. It's at a massive hotel. We got crazy surprises. It's like a Bon Jovi concert meets insurance, man. It's nuts. And we're going to have a massive bowl of cookies and cream ice cream for you there. Okay. Just kidding. Maybe. I don't know. But I can tell you it's special, but we've had to find a way to win. There was a leader of an IMO that called me and was like, man, I have not really tried to help you. I thought you were definitely going to fail. He said, but dude, you don't stop, man. You don't quit. You just keep pushing. I'm like, bro, we aren't going anywhere. This industry's too dog eat dog. Everybody freaking hates each other. We're like out there we're like the cartel with like gang signs and stuff, you know, as we're like, you work for this place, you work for this place. Like, you know, we can't talk. Why are you looking at me? Like, what the heck's going on here, right? Like, that's the kind of industry we live in. My job is to collaborate and connect the whole space. And we're doing that a lot more than we were 4 or 5 years ago. And we're going to keep doing it, whether they like it or not. I can tell you that. Number 4, do whatever it takes. I want to challenge you to do whatever it takes in your life. Number 5, set a target. Set a target. Thank you. Appreciate that. Set a target. For me, it was too small, but for me, it was, hey, I'm going to sit down and ask 10 people to buy life insurance every week. Now, it was too small because I would have made more money if I had just set a higher target. I was in college, I made $117,000 in my first 8 months at 20 years old while I was playing basketball, practices, games, tournaments, and I was on a 35% commission level. And I pushed, right? And I had one product to sell. That was it. And I pushed, but I didn't know any better. And I went out and saw 10 people a week minimum and asked 10 people to buy every week. Now in our office, people, they're booking 30, and they should, right? But if you tell, it's like, if you tell yourself something's going to be hard or difficult, or it's going to be a struggle, dude, it's going to be a struggle. It's interesting. Most people come in the industry. What's the most common number? Throw it in chat. What's the most common number when somebody comes in the industry and they're like, I want to make X amount of money. I'm brand new. I've never done sales. I've never done insurance, whatever. I want to make what? What's the number you typically hear? That's right. 6 figures, 100 grand. Shoot, if you're gauged, 20K a month, bro, because this dude just thinks bigger, right? But 100 grand is normal. You're like, bro, if I can make $100,000 as a goal, dude, like that's phenomenal. It's amazing. Like, it'll be life-changing. I used to think if I can just get to $5,000 a month, my life will change forever. Dude, I mean, it would have barely changed. Let's be honest. Like, I don't want anything in my life to barely change, right? It's interesting though. Most people don't make $100,000 because it's too big. Most people don't make $100,000 because the goal's too small. And a lot of people don't understand that. They're like, I don't get it. Like, I didn't hit it. It can't be too small. It's too big. No, it's too small because it didn't get your attention. And then we try to achieve that over 3 365 days. We lose interest, we lose attention, we lose urgency. The average human being sees 800,000 advertisements a day. 800,000 advertisements a day. And you think you're gonna keep interest and it's gonna keep your attention to make a measly 100 grand over the course of 365 flipping days? That's dumb. It's gotta be bigger. It's gotta be so big, and you gotta cram it into such a small time frame that you're obsessed, you're urgent, and it's absolutely like it's keeping you up at night. It's so freaking big. Like maybe it's, dude, this next week I'm gonna do 30 grand in a week. I don't know what it is, man, but I can tell you this: you'll achieve a lot more if you'll stop having these long flipping goals and start saying, I'm gonna do this in this time frame. It's gonna be tight. It's gonna be small. It's gonna be nuts. Nobody's ever accomplished it, and I'm gonna accomplish it. I know that gets my attention, right? That gets my attention. Number 6, positivity only. Positivity only. I've shared some of this along the way. Positivity only. Stop consuming garbage. What's funny is we wake up, first thing we do is we pull out our phones, accurate. We look at our phone, we open up something, Facebook, not my YouTube channel, that'd be better, but we open up Facebook and we start scrolling, right? And we do the scroll. Anybody ever seen the scroll? Or actually the scroll, right? The scroll. And it's like, okay, this person died, right? Oh my gosh, this person, they're going through a divorce. Oh, COVID's back. Oh, wow. I didn't even know that. Okay, I can buy some coffee. Oh my gosh, this person, they just they just had a tornado, a hurricane. Oh my gosh, Joe Biden, Donald Trump, the flipping media. Holy crap, what the heck's going on here? Oh my gosh, a tsunami wipes out half the world. Goodness gracious. And then we think we're gonna be positive and successful the rest of the day. Yeah, it was all made up. It wasn't in my Facebook, but it's in there, right? It's in there. And then we think we're gonna be positive. We think we're gonna be successful. We think like the average CEO reads, 52 books a year, right? The average millionaire reads a lot more than those that don't. It's funny, if you ever watch there's this video, I'll have to find it and send it to Gage and Ashley. There's this video online where it's like a prank video, but they're walking up to people on the street in like downtown LA or somewhere, okay? And they're like, all right, we have one question for you, okay? You're on the show. We have one question for you. Name a book. People are like, and there's like dozens of people that can't even name a flipping book, but they can get on social media, right? It's like, how do we actually want success or do we not? Like, I don't know about y'all, but dude, I don't want to just be a millionaire. I want this life to get so good I'm a billionaire. People remember my name forever. I do more for the industry than anybody's ever done it. Like just stupid stuff, man. Like stuff that's probably impossible, but I'm going to just live there like it's happening. We wake up, we take the garbage can and we just dump it on our brain and we just brainwash ourselves into negative success. Before you know it, it's like, dude, you got to scrub some of that out of there. How do you get in there and scrub it out? Dude, you need to scrub it with some good stuff, I guess. I don't know about you, but I'm done brainwashing myself in a negative way. If I'm going to brainwash myself, I'm at least wash it with some freaking clean soap and some green money, right? I'm at least brainwash myself, Jacob and Rex, into thinking my life's about to get really good. I'm about to help a bunch of people. I'm about to make a bunch of money. Okay, I'll finish with this story and I'm done. There's a story about Tony Robbins. Who's heard of Tony Robbins? By show of hands. Okay, Tony Robbins is 62 years old. If you haven't heard of Tony Robbins, I'm not saying you couldn't name a book, but check him out, okay? Tony Robbins is 62 years old. When he was 25, 37 years ago, he did an event till midnight for 125 people in Boston. He's in downtown Boston. He did an event for 125 people. He does this event. He's so amped up from the event. We don't go till midnight at 8%, but maybe we should. Okay. But he did when he was 25 years old. He still does. And he goes till midnight and he's so amped up from the event. He's like, I'm going to go for a walk because it's midnight. I'm amped up. So it's 12:30, 1 o'clock at night. It's pitch black. He's in downtown Boston. I've never been to Boston, but supposedly there's these really tall buildings, older than the US, whatever that means. And these old cobblestone roads in downtown Boston. Okay. So he's walking down these old cobblestone roads in downtown Boston. And this gentleman starts walking towards him. He's got his head down, hat on, pitch black, 1 a.m., whatever, long trench coat. And he's kind of stumbling as he's walking towards Tony Robbins. And as he gets closer, Tony can smell the guy. He's like so close, he can smell him. And the guy stops Tony and says, sir, can you spare a quarter? Do you have a quarter? I just need a quarter. Well, I don't know about you, but Tony always has this like moral dilemma. Should I give? Should I not give? I don't know. Well, for him, he's like, I just give. Like it's what I do with my money is up to me. What they do with the money is up to them. He's like, I just give every time. So he does. So the guy's like, he's like, sir, are you sure that you only want a quarter. Yeah, I just need a quarter. I just want a quarter. Can you just spare a quarter? I'd just like a quarter. He says, okay. So he pulls out a wallet and starts flipping through. I need some cash. Okay, can somebody give me a loan? He starts flipping through hundreds of dollars of cash in his wallet. He's showing the guy like, hello, money, hundreds of dollars in his wallet. And the guy's like, Tony's like, sir, and Tony's a big dude, man. Yeah, it's 1 a.m. Some random cat downtown Boston. Maybe he shouldn't do this, but he is. But he's freaking like 6'7", right? I don't know. He's like, sir, are you sure that you only want a quarter? Hello? He's like, yeah, I just need a quarter. I just want a quarter. Can you just spare a quarter? He's like, okay. He finds a quarter, pulls it out. He pulls out this quarter and he holds it up. And he says, sir, life will give you whatever you ask of it. And he gives him the quarter. What's interesting is life will give you whatever you ask of it. There was a time where I was asking for quarters. I'm done asking for quarters. There was a time in your life where you were asking for quarters. You're done asking for quarters. Whatever you ask for, you will get. You ask for it and you push hard enough, you end up with it. I don't know about y'all, but I'm going to push every single day. I'm going to push. I'm going to stop asking for quarters. If I can have millions, I'm going to ask for millions. I'm going to go get millions. I'm going to take action like I got millions, but I'm going to stop begging for quarters. All right. I'm good. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Yo, thank you, man.
Thank you, Robert.
Thank you so much.
Cody.
Can everybody drop an 8 in the comments to show my man Cody Askins some love for just dropping some fire the last 25, 30 minutes here, man.
Thanks,
this is exactly what we needed, Cody. You being selfless and hopping on there just shows the type of character and the dude you are. I know you're in the midst of planning a massive event. We're super excited to see you, but this is what it's about, guys. Putting people like-minded in your corner, being able to leverage their experience to speed up your learning curve is what this business is really about. I know I'm entirely grateful for you doing this, and last week putting out the video for us during our first ever Dial Blitz, and I know that all the agents appreciate it as well, Cody.
Dude, thank you, man. I appreciate y'all. I enjoy helping people. Conferences and stuff like this has helped me a ton over the course of my career. It's going to keep helping me. And so I do want to tell you, man, if you're on the fence about getting to Dallas with Gage and Ashley and others, I can tell you this, there's certain moments in life where a door opens and it opens, and successful people run through the door. Unsuccessful people, they contemplate, to consider, and they're not sure and they need to think about it, and they don't run through the door. 8% is a door, and 8% is a door that's going to expand your vision and make you think bigger than you ever thought. And so if you can crawl, I would get there.
I love that. I love that. Thank you so much, Cody. This has been incredible. Every time I talk to you, I definitely start thinking bigger, and I think everyone on this call can agree to that. And I appreciate you so much. I think one of the biggest pains in my life was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with it. And I really do think that you were one of the people that helped push me through to find success in this business. So I'll forever be grateful for you. And thank you so much for your leadership. I'm not exactly sure how many people on this call we have going to 8%. I would say at least maybe 8 people on here will be there. But I think we should make it a goal to double that by next week. Why not? So thank you so much, Cody. Appreciate you big time.
Thank you for the opportunity, Gage. Ashley, appreciate y'all. Team, good to meet you. Appreciate you being on. Let's go rock and roll. Have a fantastic Friday, and thank you for your time. I'll jump off. Okay, appreciate you all so much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Cody.
See you guys. Appreciate you. See you soon.
Thanks, Cody.
Crazy, I'm so crazy.